Welcome back to the channel, my fellow traders. The last few days for NIO stock have been absolutely crazy, but on this channel we've been insanely accurate in predicting its short-term price movement. 2 days ago I told you guys clearly that the stock would continue dropping and it fell down to my exact price target of 36.8. Then yesterday I told you guys if the stock broke above 38.9 to expect a big move to the upside, and that's exactly what happened today. So if you want to learn technical analysis and a bunch of other advanced trading strategies, be sure to subscribe and go get my new book on Amazon titled The Technical Trader's Handbook that covers a ton of advanced trading strategies to become more profitable. But anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down NIO's updated technical analysis, price prediction, and my exact strategy of exactly where to buy and enter and exactly how to profit. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. Alright, so jumping into the 4-hour chart, we can see how the stock is looking really bullish. Obviously, NIO stock was forming this massive symmetrical triangle before it broke down to the downside. However, what it's been doing recently is looking really bullish, because as you can see, as we were forming the triangle, we had this previous higher low. This previous higher low over here at about 38.9. But as you can see, we ended up breaking below it, but now we've broken back above this previous higher low. The reason this is so important is because the moment we broke below this previous higher low, that's the very moment we begin forming lower lows and lower highs, right? Lower lows and lower highs. But the fact that we've now broken back above it shows buyer commitment to the higher price level, and the fact that now again we've broken back above that previous low and previous very strong level of resistance. But not only that, even if we go to the hourly chart, we can see clearly how we were forming lower lows and lower highs, right? Lower lows and lower highs. And then we had this immediate resistance level again right at 38.9. And same thing, we're forming lower lows and lower highs. So in order to break out of this channel, to break out of this trend, we need to break above the previous lower high in order for us to technically start forming higher highs and higher lows. Because as long as we're below this level, technically, bears are still in control. So that's why I told you guys to watch for a break above and told you guys to expect a big move to the upside, because a lot of short stop losses are going to be right above this level. And as you can see, the stock ended up breaking nicely to the upside. In fact, as you can see, we're now forming higher highs and higher lows. We're starting to form an upwards channel, trading higher highs and higher lows. But not only that, we've broken above the 9 EMA, which is this blue line. Another thing that I mentioned is that I need NIO stock to break above the 9 EMA, because as we can see, during this entire downwards channel, we were turning the 9 EMA, which is the blue line, into resistance. And the reason this is so important is because the 9 EMA shows who's controlling the trend. So that's really bullish, along with the 9 EMA crossing above the 21 EMA, which is the purple line. So that cross is really bullish as well. Now going to the daily chart, another thing that's really bullish is the fact that yesterday we formed a long-legged doji. You can see after this massive drop lower, we formed this big long-legged doji, essentially long top wick and long bottom wick. And long-legged dojis are signs to expect consolidation or a potential reversal, and usually a change of direction. So from that aspect, things are looking pretty bullish, along with the fact that how even on the daily chart, we're oversold on the RSI. The MACD has dipped into negative territory, showing that on the longer term time frame, on the longer term chart, there's a lot of potential for buyers to regain that lost momentum for a much larger push to the upside. And one final thing that I want to show you guys before we jump into our price target and strategies is the importance of technical analysis. As we can see, even today, even like if I actually zoom back out today and even yesterday, we can see at this 38.9 level how we were really struggling to break, really struggling. Even today during pre-market hours, you can just see the amount of struggle it was going to break, but you can see the moment it broke above, boom, that's when the massive move to the upside began. So that's why technical analysis and patience and confirmation is so key, so that you can maximize your gains and ensure that you don't end up losing money. So that's why technical analysis Super important. But anyways, now that you get a rough understanding of the technicals, let's jump into my price target and exact strategies of where to buy and how to buy. But before we do so, if you haven't already, go get my new book, A Technical Trader's Handbook, on Amazon. If you want to learn technical analysis for yourself and a ton of advanced trading strategies that have helped me help you guys catch over 100% gains simply based off the technicals. So now at this point, NIO stock is actually looking pretty bullish. Now there are a couple scenarios that could end up playing out at this point. The first scenario is that we get a pullback, again a pullback down again to 38.9 before we turn it into support and then continue higher. One thing that's very common after you get these breaks is a pullback that validates that previous level of resistance as support, because as you can see, when we broke out, we didn't really come down, turn it into support and validate it. Instead, we just continued up right away. So I think what's very likely at this point, considering the fact that we are somewhat overbought as well, the MACD's crossed below the green signal line, the RSI is trending lower, and the fact that volume is somewhat dying down, I think it's very likely that we could see a pullback down to 38.9 again before we bounce back even higher and we validate that previous level of resistance into support. And at the same time, that would kind of be like our pullback down to this bottom diagonal support line, right? In fact, even if I place in another trend line, we can see we kind of also have somewhat of this mini channel forming right over here. So at that point, if we pulled back, we'd also be pulling back to this bottom diagonal higher lows channel line, right? Now on the other hand, we could continue higher, right? I'm giving you guys a bunch of scenarios so you know how to trade the stock regardless of whichever way it goes. Now the moment that I would be looking to buy heavy into NIO stock, and what I told you guys even last video, was that I need to wait for a break above this level here at 40.5 before I buy really heavy into NIO stock. Like here is a small position, but buying heavy, it needs to break above 40.5. The reason being, if I go to the 4-hour chart, is that this 40.5 level was where this downtrend began, right? When we were forming this triangle, this is essentially that level where we really broke down and began crashing. You can see how selling volume really spiked on this breakdown at this level right over here. So that's why I'm saying that once we break above 40.5, you can expect a much bigger retracement to the upside and a much bigger move as well. So right now, I'd be patient and wait for a 40.5 break before I really buy heavy into NIO stock, and from there I think could easily head up all the way up to $47, where it had a very strong level of resistance right up over here, right? This is a very strong level of resistance where you could look to take profit, or continue to hold. Now that's how to trade NIO on a break to the upside. Let's talk about what happens if NIO stock just ends up dropping, because let's be honest guys, the stock market can do anything. With technical analysis, we can do our best to predict the trends based on the patterns that are forming, but the truth is that stocks can do anything and you need to be prepared regardless. So let's say that NIO stock ended up breaking back below this 38.9 level of resistance, right? We have resistance here. Let's say we ended up breaking below it. Now truly, going to this 15-minute chart, I wouldn't be that worried if we did end up breaking this level right over here. In fact, I would look for NIO stock to probably find support at this bottom diagonal support line of the higher high and higher low channel. And I think we most likely will find support right here at about 38.10, where we had a previous level of support here, and from there we could end up bouncing, because right now things are looking bullish and I think maybe we pull back and then bounce higher. So that's my price target. Those are my strategies to profit in all the different scenarios that could play out. If you enjoyed this in-depth technical breakdown, be sure to like and subscribe, and go get my new book, A Technical Trader's Handbook, on Amazon, or join the Gen Z Trader Academy, which is a full course with video lectures that really guide you through how to trade in the stock market and exact technical trading strategies to take your trading to the next level. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.